Hey, this goes out to all my dream chasers out
How
there.
you doing, John?
Doing fantastic.
Good.
Salt
So
Lake
we had
City,
you on.
stand
I
up
messed
with
up
me
on the
one
intro a
time.
little bit because I said you had
Rock with
terminal
me.
cancer, but it's chronic bone cancer. Is that right? Or
It's CLL. CLL.
Okay.
Chronic lymphoma leukemia is what it's
Okay.
called. Yeah, you'd said that I had bone cancer and I was dying.
yeah,
Well, when you're going through it, you feel like you're dying, but I didn't quite have bone cancer and I wasn't dying.
yeah. Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't have had the Bloody Mary when we were figuring all that out.
No, but you had the cancer part, right?
yeah.
But I noticed Lauren was concerned, like, really? No,
Uh-huh.
no, really?
Yeah, we went back in after the podcast, and I was kind of, sorry. I'm trying to figure it out.
I messed up.
Yeah. But so I mean, how does your story start with the cancer?
Well, my story started in 2011. It was in December. At work, I noticed a slight lump just below my ear, on the neck. One of my lymph nodes was pretty swollen. And normally, from what I knew, no medical terms, when your lymph node is swollen, you're going to get sick. It just happens. But your body's protection system is going to build some insulin to cure something. And so I was telling the guy, says, I think I got a good flu coming here. This could be ugly.
Yeah.
So I may be gone for a week or so. Sometimes you knew it was going to be nasty.
Yeah.
Well, after a week, it wouldn't go down, and I still felt great. So I decided something's not right. I better go see our family doc. So I went and seen him, and he saw the lump, and he told me, he says, you have something, we just don't know what it is. And I asked him, I says, well, can you put a needle in there and take a biopsy, pull out there? He says, yeah, but all that'll tell us is what's wrong, but it won't tell us where it's at. We've got to find out where it's at.
Yeah.
So after multiple tests, nothing came out perfect. He couldn't figure it out. So he sent me to one of his good friends that's Dr. Mintz, which is a general surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
He does livers, kidney, take your tonsils out, basically general.
Yeah.
And he looked at it. Then he had me take the shirt off as he's doing an exam, and he says, you have lymphoma. I said, how do you know I have lymphoma from taking off my shirt? And he had me stand in front of the mirror, and underneath the armpits, normally, unless you're a weightlifter, is straight down. Mine went out kind of bulging. He says, your lymph nodes are huge. He says, now, lymphoma is like 95% curable, so you shouldn't have a problem. But we need to make sure that that's what it is. And the only way we can make sure is we got to take a lymph node out, which the process is basically do a surgery underneath your arm and then take one out. And as he's feeling under there, he says, your lymph nodes, if I'm correct, says they're supposed to be about the size of a pea. Mine are about the size of a golf ball.
Was that on both sides, or?
Yeah, both sides.
Wow.
And I didn't realize it. It's so gradual. I mean, I never noticed my arms are,
Yeah.
the swelling here. You just don't even, it didn't hurt.
Yeah, you get used to it.
And, yeah, exactly. So when he takes one out, they send it up the U of U for biopsy because he, like my first doctor, says, I can inject in it, and if it is lymphoma, it'll tell me that it's cancer, but it won't tell me where it is because it just means your lymph nodes are building stuff up because they're trying to cure whatever you got. So as they take it up, comes back, and he says, sure enough, it was, now I'm trying to think of what it was. It was lymphoma cancer. It was B-cell lymphoma. That's what he called it. And he says that's highly curable. He says you really can't get rid of it, but we can cure what you have. So he sends me across the hallway to his doctor, which was Dr. Frame, which is the cancer doc, basically. Dr. Frame looks at it and says, yeah, we need to do some tests, and now we got to do what they call PET scan, which they take you through a huge tube, and they determine where your cancer is and what stage you are. Stage 1, meaning you have a cancer in one spot. Stage 2, more than one spot. Stage 3, multiple cancer. Stage 4, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So as I get in there, they send me to the tube, and he comes back and he said, and before I got the results back on that, then they have to do a bone marrow biopsy, which from what I understand is just normal, and that's determined whether the cancer is in your bone. Bone marrow biopsy, when I first had that, was ungodly painful. not knowing what I know now, that there's different ways of doing it, that they can give you better drugs.
Yeah.
There, they just gave me Valium.
What year was that?
This was in 2000. This was still 2011, December of
Okay.
2011. I'm going through all these things, not realizing that when you have insurance, that after December, your insurance resets. So you repay everything all over again.
Yeah.
And when I had insurance, the insurance I had was catastrophic, meaning you can afford the payments a month, the annual payments a month, but if it's something big, it's going to be a huge deductible. My deductible was over $2,000. But if it's something serious, that deductible is just your lifesaver. You're going to pay it.
Yeah.
Because mine was, instead of an 80-20, where some people pay 20% and they pay 80, well, even 20% of what I went through, I couldn't have ever afforded it.
Yeah.
Mine was 100%. As soon as I paid my high deductible, they paid 100%. So if I found it in December and I met the deductible, they'd only pay from December, and then in January it resets, and I got to repay the deductible again.
Yeah.
So once we did that, went in there, and they did the bone marrow biopsy. We go back for the results. And Dr. Frame tells me, he says, yes, you do have lymphoma, and he says it is highly curable. It's about 95% curable, was what he said. And he says, I think you've got a really good chance of being cured. But when we were looking at your PET scan, we did notice some type of mass in one of your kidneys. I says, really? He says, I'm not sure what it is, but we can't really go operate and look at it, because if we were to operate and if it is a mass and take it out, you're going to be going through chemo with your CLL, and your body wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah, you'd probably go into shock.
And my thing is like, dude, if I got cancer, cut it out.
Yeah.
I do not need this.
No.
And then he also says, and your bone marrow biopsy came up, yeah, you have leukemia. I went, oh, well, trifecta,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. That's just exactly what I need.
Yeah.
So his prognosis went from 95% to, we'll do our best.
Oh.
And I didn't ask him if it was stage 4 or what the stage was. I learned later it was stage 4, but I mean, you just figure it's just let's get this done with. I got things to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So halfway through my treatments, he sent me over to a guy that did an ultrasound, and he looked at the spot in the kidney, still big. So, but he says it's not growing, so we're good there. Then you do all the treatments there, and the treatments were vicious. I'm telling you. When you go to the treatments, you start out, the first bag they hang is nausea medicine, because this will make you beyond sick.
Yeah.
Then they either gave me a pill form of Tylenol or a liquid Tylenol. Then after that, then they start the big bags. And this bag has to be twice the size of a normal saline bag. It's huge. And the first time we did this bag, we're sitting there, and they get all the bag, and I hear the beeps going off, because I'm getting used to the insulin pumps. Now I could practically run it myself.
Yeah.
I've done so many of them. And you watch the insulin pump go off, and the nurse comes over there, and she turns it back on, and she's lifting it up, shaking everything she can get out of the bag. And I'm like, there's not much left in that. And you see it going down the tube, and it just kind of stops. She says, well, we want to get every spot of this out. I says, do I need every drop of that?
Yeah.
That bag's huge. And she goes, you'll want every drop of this when you see what it is on your bill. And my mother, who was with me at the time, and she kind of looked nurse, and she says, now, if we're looking at the bill, what would we be looking for? Because we have no idea what these names are. She says, on the bill, you'll see, she rattled off the name, and I think it was Rituxan. I can't remember. Rattled off the name of the chemo. By that, it'll say $27,450.
Oh, man.
I said, just for one frickin' bag? She goes, yeah.
How many bags did you look at for the whole
Well,
series?
you go to the series. You do a 6-month series, and that's just their standard. I go on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. First time I went on a Wednesday, I got there about 7:30 in the morning, and I left at 5:30 at night.
Wow.
It was that long, because that one big bag they give you, they can't go quick, because if your body starts to reject it or you have a reaction, they don't stop it. You're just going to get it slower,
Yeah.
which really sucks. I mean, great sleep medicine, because it starts to put you right out.
I bet.
But it lasts all day. Now, as you progress, each visit, they'll turn the bag up a little bit, go a little quicker until you're on full, and they don't have to turn it down because they realize your body's accepting it, and it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 27, and I was thinking, and there's two or three other bags they give me that same day of chemo medicine. And you wonder to yourself, I wonder what the hell those cost.
Yeah, well, that
My
$2,000 deductible doesn't sound so bad.
No, well, the good part about it, the bad part about it, the $2,000 deductible is pretty much gone once you have your first PET scan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's over $3,000 just to go through this tube. And when you're doing the PET scan, you can't have any sugars before you do this PET scan. They want you to go 24 hours, I think it's 24 hours without sugars, unless they're natural sugars at a product, and then they want you to have proteins before you get in. Then when you get in there, they give you this, I swear it was Gatorade because it was a strong lemon Gatorade.
Yeah.
But while they're giving this Gatorade, the nurse is over here giving you a shot in your IV, and she's got this needle with this huge, big, round lead thing over it. Come to find out, she's giving you radiation.
Yeah.
Very small dose, and what it does is cancers love sugar. So the drink you're drinking is heavily sugarified. So the radiation will stick to the sugar, and then the cancers start eating the sugar, so the cancers will glow when you go to the PET scan, so they can tell where they are.
Yeah.
So that's how they determine where you have cancer, upper or lower, below the leg, above the legs, up in the head, wherever you have it. That's how they determine it with me.
So how long are you in the tube for?
Not long. I think the worst part is once they give you this stuff, then you have to relax and chill out for an hour. So if you like Yanny, that's what you're going to listen to for a whole hour. Yanny in a newspaper, and then they come and get you. You're in the tube for, I want to say 20 minutes, if that. I mean, it's fairly quick.
That's not
And
bad.
they don't really give you anything. Then you go back and see the doc, then he gives you all what you got and what you're doing. And then once you start going through the treatments, then you realize and the side effects of the treatments for me weren't real bad. Nausea, I got used to it just because I would take my nausea meds. They give you nausea meds to take, and you learn that with your nausea meds, it was every 8 hours, if I'm correct, you could take a pill. It was either 4 to 8. I had a timer going. I don't care if it was 3:34 in the morning and that timer goes off, I get up and take the pill.
Yeah.
Because once you've been nauseous once, you can't get rid of it.
Oh, exactly.
You ride it's like, you get seasick. Once it starts,
You're just done for.
Yeah,
Uh,
To ride the wave. You're
yeah.
done. Myself, once I got nauseous once, it only happened once, I said, that is not going to happen again. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to die. So I learned to do the nausea meds. And before you're doing the chemo, you do take what's called a chemo class. You go in there and they tell you what to expect. They say, this is what you should eat, this is what you should not eat. Some people get some people get severe nausea, some people don't. Some people get backed up, and some people don't. Oh yeah, I got backed up. Holy hell, that chemo will just clog I'm not even going to tell you. It wasn't even funny.
No, I couldn't imagine.
Oh my God, yeah. And I can take nausea all you want, but being backed up, you want to die.
Yeah, that's
I don't
uncomfortable.
care. You just holy God, you want to die. The first time I got backed up, took for a while to figure that out.
Yeah.
Then the second time I was backed up, at the same time I was reading a book that talked about fasting and how fasting was actually really good for you. It was written like in 1935, an old book. And then coming to find out as they read it, they found out some of the benefits. Now, that was for me. I wouldn't suggest to anybody else do it, but for me, fasting, it shuts down the good cells. And they don't die, they just basically shut down. Well, cancer cells can't shut down. They're 100%. They're full on, let's go, we got things to do.
Yeah.
So I found for me is, my guessing is when the good cells shut down, chemo is going to go right over the top of them. It's going to singe the top of them and hit right to the cancer. Well, being the backed up and come to find out about fasting, I was thinking, well, maybe I'd fast during my treatment week, because I really couldn't eat much anyway. But then I was thinking to myself, if I fast, I'm losing nutrients, that this chemo's killing everything, killing all my proteins, everything. So I asked the doctor, I says, could I fast during the week? I says, fasting meaning I'll do like broths, chicken broth, beef broth, ramen broth without the noodles. And do you think that would help me in the fasting? And he didn't say I couldn't, but he looked me right in the eye and says, liquid in, liquid out. And that's all I needed to hear. Holy God, he said that. And I'm like, oh, dude, really? So we were sitting out there and in the treatment room. My mother happened to be up at that time, and I told my mother, I says, I talked to Mr. Frame. He says, liquid in, liquid out. I'm going to do the fasting during the week because this being clogged is not going to work.
Yeah.
And the nurse overheard me, and she says, well, you know, giving birth is painful. And I says, yeah, but you didn't give birth out your ass. Holy hell, I give birth to an NBA basketball.
Yeah.
I says, dude, no, I'm sorry, but we got to do something. Once I learned how to do that and oh yeah, life was good.
Yeah.
Life was good. Once you do that, you're on. Then you do the 6 months treatments. Then after the treatments, my tests came out perfect. Found out cancer was gone, and I'm pretty excited. Got to ring what they call cancer bell. It's a big bell they have in your treatment rooms. You basically ring it when you're done, and everybody claps because the ones that are starting out have no idea what they're going to deal with until the guys that are in the end. Once you ring that bell, you know I'm done, dude.
I would take that thing down.
Oh, dude. First time, it's just kind of a little bit of a ring.
Yeah.
But then after that, did my 3-month checkup, and I was really good. Mm-hmm. Then I went for a 6-month checkup, and a week before, I wouldn't say a week, I want to say 4 days for my 6-month checkup, I noticed a lump that was over my breast. And I says, well, now, what the hell is this? And I was having my mother feel it. I says, does that feel like a lump? She said, well, we should call Dr. Frame. I said, we're going to see him in 3 days, so we'll figure out what we got. So we go see Dr. Frame, do the whole exam. And he says, how do you feel? I said, I feel great. I said, I felt great before I got here. You're the ones that made me sick. I mean, I was feeling really good until I came to see you. And I said, I do have a concern. I said, I have a little lump on the side. Like if you could look at it. And so I show him the lump, and his eyes got huge as dinner plates. I said, you're not supposed to do that. He says, what? He says, get the big eyes. He said, well, this concerns you. Concerns me. And I said, well, then it damn concerns me.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, we're over at Mintz. He's doing another surgery, taking out another lymph node to determine, because I'd asked the doctor, I says, do you have lymph nodes in the breast area? He says, no, you have lymph nodes on the side, but there's no lymph nodes in your breast area. So Mintz takes out another lymph node, and he looked at it, and he was pretty sure it was the CLL came back again. Mm-hmm. Next thing you find out, it's come back, so we do the same damn treatment again. Another 6 months of chemo, whole 9 yards. You go, and by God, by then I'm done with it. But during my first 2 treatments, I was 2 sessions. I had all my hair. Never lost my hair. Didn't affect some people. It doesn't.
Yeah.
But I noticed when I was doing this last treatment, even though I had the hair, it was kind of funny being in the treatment room, and I could tell newbies that came in that had never really done the chemo, because they get down there hooked up doing chemo, and somebody bring them in McDonald's and a whole big. I'm like, oh no, dude, you're gonna so pay for that. Let me tell you, that's tasty now, but.
Yeah.
Give you a day when your body goes, it's time to get rid of it. And it goes, oh, no.
Nope, we're keeping
We're
that.
going to keep it that for a while. I said, dude, no. I just shake my head. Now, maybe it didn't happen to them, but I guarantee it did me.
Yeah.
So we go through the whole 6 months. We go through all the treatments, and I'm doing really well after the last treatment. Then comes, I had a little throat problem where I was having a hard time swallowing. And found out it was called the Schottky ring, where my throat kind of closes off, so they have to dilate my throat. Mm-hmm. Well, when I call up the gentleman that's going to do this, referred to by Dr. Frame, first question he didn't ask about my throat or nothing. He says, have you ever had a colonoscopy? I says, no. He goes, well, you're having one. I'm like, oh, great.
More great news.
I said, really? I said, do you think? He says, you're old enough, you need one. I said, okay. I says, but I thought you're doing the throat. There's 2 different ends here, you know. And he goes, oh, we'll make sure. Don't worry. So we get in and do the colonoscopy. I come out, and everybody, I'm sure, has done the colonoscopy. They know the procedure. That's not fun either.
Yeah.
He goes, your colonoscopy went great. We widened your throat, but we could only do it in 1 session, but there was just a slight problem with your colonoscopy. And he shows these pictures up. We found 2 lumps in your colon. I went, are you kidding me? 2 lumps, just what I need. And he goes, but I've taken them off to be tested, and we'll let you know, and I'll let Frame know in 2 days. So 2 days later, I go up to see Dr. Frame, and he says, it's a different cancer. It's back. Part of the CLL is called large diffused CLL. Oh, it's B-cell large diffused lymphoma, which is an aggressive form of cancer. I just got lucky they found it. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy God. And it's like, you don't really want to tell anybody just yet. It's like, God, you guys don't even want to know what I got to go through again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd always had this saying through all my cancers when I was going through, it was just a bump in the road. So there's a glass of wine, there's a gin and tonic waiting for me at the end, but just a bump in the road. I got things to do. It's just in the way.
Yeah.
So on my Facebook page, that's how I typed in a bump in the road. My little brother called me, and immediately he knew what I was talking about. He says, "You got to be shitting me." I says, "Unfortunately, no." And my sister happened to be in town at that time, and she was way bummed. And while I was talking with her, she took it back and talked to some good friends she had in Seattle when she lived in Seattle at the time, and they were cancer research specialists. And she told them what I had and told them that the doctor that recommended I do a treatment called R-CHOP. And he says, "Oh, God, that's some vicious chemo." He says he'll want to die, but it will kill the cancer. It's the only cancer that can be killed was this cancer through R-CHOP, meaning my CLL will come back eventually. God knows when. It'll be another bump in the road and we'll kick its ass again.
Yeah.
But the R-CHOP will kill the cancer, and it's like 0.05 or 0.09% it comes back. Very extremely rare. So, but yeah, I had that chemo, and within first dose, within 1 week, Harris says, "Oh yeah, we're done." Says, "We've had 2 rounds and no, we're done."
Wow.
And you don't realize it till your hair starts. You just grab a clump and it starts just falling out. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to go get it shaved. Well, I go up there because we had a good family friend that's it's a hairstylist. So she shaves it off, and she didn't charge me because she felt so bummed. I'd been going to her forever. And she says, and that time I had a mustache and a goatee. She says, "Do you want to keep it?" I says, "No, I think I'm doing pretty." And I grabbed it. I says, "No, that's got to go too." I just pulled a clump. I went, "Dude, yeah." I mean, the only advantage, if there is an advantage of going through this, is you're manscaped.
Yeah.
It ain't no shaving. You don't shave shit. Nothing. For a gal that didn't want to shave her legs, there's no hair that grows anywhere.
Yeah, I can
your
imagine.
eyebrows are gone. You're done.
Yeah, shampoo cost probably goes down too.
Oh yeah. There's no shampoo. Yeah, it's pretty much done. And that's why I still have my hair bald, because I decided it's just easier to shave it than to go through that. And then it grows back. I can just tell it's not going to grow back like it used to. So I find it's easier to take care of.
Yeah, but it's probably a good feeling to embrace it too. Just
You have
go
to.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, because my attitude was so positive that it was just a bump in the road. I got bigger and better things to do. That for me, it worked out really well. Now you get some people that are depressed and they feel bad about it. Well, if you're depressed and feel bad about it, that's worse.
Yeah. Well, it affects your whole body.
It affects your whole body. If you have a positive attitude, I think it helps in the cure. Mm-hmm. Have a positive attitude. Have people, and I even had a friend come over from the LDS Church. He wanted to give me
the blessing.
A blessing,
Yeah.
Exactly. I said, "Do you think I need one?" He says, "Well, it can't hurt." I says, "I'll try it. Heck, I'll try anything. Anything that sends phone. If there's somebody upstairs, if it sends a phone up there to him and says, 'Hey, fix this guy,' I'll take it."
Yeah.
Blessings. I went to energy healings. They all wanted to do that for me, and I said, "Hey,
whatever it takes."
And I think a lot of it for me, it didn't bother me. Not that I really sought for it, but I think it helped them. Mm-hmm. It gave them maybe feel like they could do something.
Yeah.
Because you can't get in there and take it out, but they wanted something to do to help.
Yeah. Well, plus, not to say to take any focus away from the person that has cancer, but on the people that are dealing with family members and stuff, it's really hard too.
Oh, visually, yeah. Yeah, you want to help them, you want to do what you can, but you're like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I think the worst thing I had with cancer, the thing I hated the most myself, was when people say, "So how you feeling?" Mm-hmm. It's like, really? After about the 100 millionth time, I really don't need to hear that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just come and say, "How's life today?" Mm-hmm. What you got going, but how you feeling? It's like everybody in the dog of the car, it's the first thing they say is, "So how you feeling?" Well, how do you think I'm feeling, dude?
Yeah.
It's not a good day. We're not haven't eaten for forever. And by the time I did my 3 separate rounds, I had the lymphoma, then I had leukemia, then I had the renal cancer, and then you find out you have the lymphoma came back twice. Then you have the B cell lymphoma. So it's like five cancers. 2 of them I had twice.
Yeah.
And it's like, and after I got through with the first round of chemo, when they had the renal, when they spotted that thing, then I went in there to see the kidney guy. Kidney guy looks at it and he says, "Well, we need to do an MRI because I want to get a closer look at this and see what we're seeing." So he does the MRI and he says, "I'm thinking you have 2 healthy kidneys, but one has to go, just because of where this cancer is." And I says, "How invasive is this operation?" He says, "Well, we go in there and basically we take your kidney out and we redo the plumbing, so you're running on one kidney." But he says, "I don't know how bad it's going to be till I get in there," because he says, when I get in there, if the growth is just on the outside of the kidney, that's the best you can have. But if it's grown inside the kidney, he says, "I'm going to take the kidney and your whole urethra and the whole tube that goes down your urinary tract." I says, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, because we have no idea where the cancer is. Cancer, you don't feel pain.
Yeah.
The pain is caused by the cancer affecting other organs or other things." So he says, "I've got to take everything because I have no idea where it's at." Well, that doesn't make you really happy.
Oh, no.
So when you get in there and you get out and you find out that you have a 5-centimeter mass on my kidney, and they took it out and they had it tested and it was cancerous. And luckily, they only had to take the kidney. They didn't have to do the other. Yeah. And they all do it laparoscopically through little teeny holes. He didn't have to do this big invasive surgery.
And it's pretty incredible, their technology with that stuff.
It was really incredible. And the gentleman that did my, Dr. Mintz, that took out my lymph nodes, it was actually, they're really good friends. So when he did my kidney, Dr. Mintz was in on the operation. He usually goes in on Mondays just to operate with him because he says this guy's just amazing. And what I come to find out later, instead of just a regular surgery, it was robotic.
Wow.
He did all the robotics through there, and I went, "That's cool."
Yeah.
Not that I want to stay awake and watch it, but, oh yeah, but it was cool. But I figured that since all my cancers I've gone through over 50 rounds of chemo.
Jeez.
And if luckily enough to have insurance, if you didn't have insurance, I'd be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, now they'll tell you that you wouldn't be, but I just got to think that if I've got insurance and they're paying 100% and I'm caught up, that they're going to give me the good stuff. They're not going to go, "Well, they can't really afford it, so we're going to give them this other stuff on the shelf." Now, maybe I'm just being sarcastic, but that's what goes through your mind. I want whatever I need.
Yeah.
I got insurance. Let's...
Well, yeah, because what is that? That would be about $1.35 million just in that one bag for 50 sessions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You figure 50 cents. And now each session, now I don't know how much the art shop bags were because that's the vicious chemo, they say. So, but you just add up what they've spent. It's like, whew.
Jeez.
Yeah. If you didn't have it, I just feel sorry for some of these people that don't have insurance. I mean, the bills that would come were just huge, just stacks upon stacks, and having to decide what they pay, what they didn't pay. And
Well, even, Tylenol are like $100 when you look at your medical bills.
oh yeah,
Just a single Tylenol, that's crazy. So I
yeah.
can imagine.
They'd always give you 2 of them because they says cancer can cause you to have your bones to ache. Now I was really lucky; I never had that. I knew people that have had that. I was really lucky. I didn't have the, thank God, bone aches.
Yeah.
But it's just, and I was really lucky being I work at the family store that when I would do treatments, I'd take a week off. First time I did treatments, I came back. I did my treatments on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then I came back that Tuesday. I says, "I can go to work. I feel pretty good." Oh man, that lasted about an hour, and then you just run down, and you start to feel really nauseous, like you had a lot to drink. You're on your second day of a hangover, and it's like, this is not going to be good. Then finally, we just decided, look, I've got to have the week off after, because if you don't, I'm going to hate it.
Yeah.
And all you do is sleep, chill, and everybody wants to come over and say hi, which is okay. I mean, you get used to it, and I finally realized that for me, it's more let them do it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they want to do it. They want to help you. They want something to do. Because they feel helpless.
Yeah.
So, in the first round, when I went to chemo, I'm going to do everything. I don't need nobody's help. Hell.
Yeah.
I do it. And the second time, I realized that it wasn't just for me, it was for them. Yeah, whatever you want to come and do. And it was funny, like, I had a friend that came over and she just says, "Oh, I thought you weren't eating." So she brings me this big Costco chicken and all this stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm so not going to be eating that." They're just like, "Dude, you know, it smells real great." And you're thinking, "Oh, I'm starving." Then you're like going, "No, that's not going to work out." So you put it in the freezer, put it in the fridge and says, yeah, I'll munch on that later. And you don't want to tell them, "Yeah, that's going to be in the freezer. I'm giving it to the neighbors." 'Cause
There's no way.
There's just, you just realize you can't. You just don't. I mean, I'd suck on Lifesavers or little teeny gummy bears my little brother would bring me from Germany. And that worked out great. And then by the next month, by the time you're ready for treatments, I was starting to eat again. You're starting to eat a little bit. You're starting to eat. Then almost by the time you're doing treatments, I used to call it cheeseburger ready. It's like, boy, I'm just like Saturday night for my treatment on the next Wednesday, man, I could just do a cheeseburger. But Sunday, I'm starting to fast again because it's getting ready for chemo. So, yeah, I couldn't do it. You're just like, oh, my God.
So would the chemo kill all the good bacteria in your stomach, your gut flora, or what was it that caused you to get, backed up from that?
A lot of it was caused to back up. It just caused that from the chemo. It causes your body to shut down. Now, a lot of people get it from if they've had surgery and on heavy pain meds. Pain meds can cause constipation. It's just like, dude, and everybody and their dog's got a recipe to fix it. It's like my mother's great grandma on her best side's friends neighbor down the street used to do this. I'm like, dude, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's got a cure to fix your cancer. It's like, and a good friend of mine that had been through, he's been through kidney cancer, and he told me, bladder cancer, excuse me. He told me, don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Absorbent, say thanks, but talk to your doctor first, because whatever they're going to tell you to do is just going to be...
Yeah, there's some places that holistic healing doesn't really work as well.
No, I had a family, one of our family friends, or a family member, he told me, he says, there's a place in Mexico, you can go down there and you spend a month, and they do it, he's very vegan, so chewing the grass. He says you can go down there and they do all of these herbal medicines and they can cure the cancer. And I'm thinking, well, for some people, yes. For me, no. Although chemo is nasty, and the sad part about chemo is enough chemo that can cause cancer, which is really sad. And chemo is a form of Agent Orange.
Yeah, exactly.
And they found that out from what I'd heard in some of the Vietnam Wars, when they were spraying the Agent Orange, guys with cancer, their tumors were starting to heal.
Wow.
And
then they 40 years later,
they refine it down, and it's still pretty nasty. I mean, when they come up and they're all gloved up and all their garb is they're giving you the juice, I'm like, I'm not garbed. Do I need that?
Yeah.
Do I need all that stuff on? But you get used to it. And I was lucky for the first round when I went through chemo, I did everything through my veins. I didn't have to do any port. Second round, after the second time, my veins started being really painful and they get hard spots. And my sister, who's a nurse, she called it, you're getting junkie arms. Junkies get hard arms where they can't shoot up, so they find new veins. Well, when I showed the doctor that, he says, yeah, we're going to have to put a port in. Your veins are starting to not like this stuff. And a port was an amazing operation. It's the round disc they put in your chest that they give you all your juice through.
It's like Iron Man.
Yeah. When I go in there and I talk to him about that, he has me scheduled for surgery on a Monday. They install the same guy at Mintz that did that. He put the port in. He installs the port on a Monday. I rest on a Tuesday, and by Wednesday, they're using the thing. I'm like, dude, this is fresh surgery, and you're getting in there wiggling this flipping hockey puck around.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because I knew nothing about a port. When they installed it, the doctor just told Mr. Mintz, says, just leave it, because when they put it in, they'll put a kind of an IV. They call it accessing your port. He says, just leave it accessed, because they're going to use it on Wednesday. Yeah. And I had no idea what the access is. So they take basically something that looks like this. It was a red Dixie cup, and he puts it right over my port and tapes it down. So you couldn't mess with it. Now, coming to find out from the nurses, there's other ways to do it, but this is the way he did it. And so I go in there with this huge big Dixie cup taped to my thing, and they just kind of laugh. He says, how long have you had that? I says, since Monday. And she says, how do you sleep? Not so well.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm thinking as they're taking the tape off, there's stitches somewhere under there.
Yeah.
Take that tape off carefully.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. And then they're accessing it, doing a thing. And then after a while, you get used to it. You just forget you have it.
Yeah.
Don't even know you had it. So basically, chemo, all your chemo's through the port. Everything's done. Bing, bing. Now, mine, they put it right in the center, which I guess is highly unusual.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Normally, most people, they put it on the left or right
Yes,
side.
that's where I've seen it.
Mine is right in the center because they'd always tell me, says, because sometimes I'd get a new nurse at the treatment centers, and she'd say, okay, what side do you pour it on? It says in the middle. She says, it can't be in the middle. And I go, right in the middle. And she goes, I've never seen that. I said, well, then there you go. Now you have.
So do they cut into your sternum at all, or is it just like they just go through into your...
Yeah, they go through. Now, I don't know exactly how they attach it, but when they put it in there, it's attached, and they have a tube that goes up, and it goes into a main vein right in your neck.
To your jugular?
Yeah, right into the main vein. So when it's attached, the nurses, they couldn't believe where it was, and I used to always call it my third nipple, but it ain't a happy nipple, let me just tell you. So I got 3 nipples, and this one's not happy. And it took a while for the pain to go away on that. Once it's gone away, you almost forgot you had it.
Yeah.
You almost saw. And then when it comes to take it out, that was my scary thing is, well, how hard is it going to be to come out as it went in?
Yeah.
And the doc's telling me, he says, now, when I take this out, would you just like a local anesthesia, or would you like me to put you out? I'm like, what? You could be awake? Will you?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's not a good idea. I says, why don't you get me some good drugs and let's put me out, you know, something really good. And basically, when they take it out, they just cut it open, pull it out, and they pull real hard and take the whole tube out, comes with it. And I'm like, well, what about up here? Is this going to bleed?
Yeah.
You know, I cut myself with a hole. It kind of bleeds for a while.
Yeah, and it's in your jugular. You would assume that there'd
I'm
be
just
a little.
thinking, yeah, I'm just going to be dripping there for a while. But no, it all came out. And
Did you get any bruising along your neck or anything from...
no.
Wow.
No, you had a little Band-Aid there. You could see where it was put in because once they put it in and they feed it up here, you can see where they go into it. But
yeah, just go in to cauterize it or
Yeah.
just okay.
yeah, once it's done,
Wow.
like I say, although I didn't really want the port, once you had it, that's a godsend because they don't have to do your arm, they don't have to do your vein. They just know right where they're going to go.
Is it faster?
It's about the same. It's just they don't have to do the vein. All they do is numb it up and access it, do all your blood draws from the port,
Okay.
and do everything from the port. It's just quick. Now, some of the nurses was better at the port than others. Quick nurse to go in there because I was telling one of the nurses that really nice nurse, and we were talking about it, and I says, you know, when this other gal puts it in there, man, that burns. I says, it's like, dude, let's go. And she would tell me that's exactly what you do. She says, once you commit, go. There's no, because it was like a little round cap with a little thing on top. And she says, once you get that and you're ready to go, plunge it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Says, if you go slow, it'll burn like a bitch.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So she get up there and says, is he ready? Take a breath in, bink, done, okay. Then you're in.
Wow.
Then they tape it on and they start doing your juice and you're just kind of hanging out. And I would always have a new port. But now they always said that now you can keep your port if you want it for tomorrow because we're going to reuse it again. I'd say just take it off. I tried it once and it was just annoying to have this thing there. And I was always afraid if I bump it and it comes out or I undo the valve, does that mean blood's going to drip out? And then I'm going to, you know, you think of horrific things.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, your first time and then you realize that, nah, just take it out. You can put another one in. And then you just got used to it. Then you got used to it. And then during that 6 months, after my treatment, the second round of treatments, they always had me go in once a month. You had to go in once a month to have your port cleaned. Basically, they'd flush it just so you didn't get anything that would clog inside. And then I went on that for almost a year and a half because I still have my port. And doctor was saying, we can take it out if you want because if we have to put another one back in, we can. I said, well, let's just keep it in for a while. Make sure I don't need it. It wasn't a fun ride like a lagoon to have it put back in.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, and then when they found the large B-cell diffusion flowing with the colonoscopy, port happened to be there. So, well, we might as well just use it.
Yeah.
And there we go. Started using that again. And I had the port for, I want to say almost 2 years after my last treatments.
Wow.
And then because I was just like, I didn't have to be out. I was having it flushed, so I was doing really good with it. But then I decided, we don't need it anymore. Cancers are gone. But so far, my tests have came out great. Now my white count and my red counts are low. not incredibly low, but they are low, but which the doctors are now saying that's my new normal.
Okay.
If you were to go in and be tested and they'd say, oh, your white and red blood cells counts are really low, so they'd want to do more testing, see what you had, see if there was something wrong. And me, he says, no, your counts will always be low. It's my new normal.
Is there anything you can take or do to increase them at all, or?
No, it's just going to be my new normal.
Okay.
It's from all the chemo. And he said it won't affect you. He says you live a healthy life. It's just your new normal for your counts. So it's like if you were to go somewhere and they would have had to do a blood test or something like that and said it was low, you can tell them, no, this is the new normal. That's my blood counts are right.
Yeah. Do you feel more fatigued from that, or?
No, you feel just the same. You wouldn't know it. I would
Yeah.
have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. So.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, you kind of get a little nervous. I mean, they're not outrageously low, but they are a little low. And they always say it's just from the chemo and the way it did and whether it reset my internal clock. I don't know, but that's now what all my treatments are. And so,
How often do you go to the doctor now to get checked
right
up?
now I'm on every 6 months.
Okay.
After you're done with your treatment, you go every 3 months. Then you're every 3 months and you keep your checkup, make sure everything's good. And you do 3 months for about 2 years, if I'm correct. And then they put you on now I'm on a 6 month, every 6 months.
Okay.
Now, I don't know when they say I'm totally cured, because I really never be cured. But right now I'm on a 6 months because they're happy with all the prognosis.
Yeah.
But like they always says, I'll find it before they find it. That's what happened on both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, except for the one they found at the colonoscopy, I found every other one. Luckily, during the first round, when they found the renal cancer, that means the mass that was on the kidney, that if I hadn't found the lymphoma, renal cancer would have killed me. That's just, it was a very fast acting. Once that spreads to all the lungs and goes everywhere, you're done. Because by the time you find out you have it, by the time you find you have pain or you're starting having stomach problems and you go in to have it tested, it's everywhere.
Yeah, because you're feeling fatigued from it killing you, essentially.
Yeah, and by the time you notice it, it's too late. It's so far. It's not that you can't survive it. It's just not as easy.
Yeah, exactly.
I was lucky. It was just condensed to one spot.
And like it would have been more invasive if it
Oh, yeah, it
had
had gone
been
everywhere.
progressed
Yeah,
more.
it would have slowly went from one organ to another organ. And it's like the one doctor said, if my lymphoma meets the renal cancer, he says they're not good buddies. But if they meet and get together, it'll make the lymphoma go twice as quick.
Yeah.
So he says, we don't want those two to get friends. We don't want them to be friends. They don't need to know each other at all. So you need to get rid of this, and then when you're done, we'll get rid of that.
Yeah. So how long has it been since, your last, you're basically when they said that you have to come back?
Yeah, I think my last one, I think it's been, I was trying to think about that the other day. I want to say it's been 3 years now.
3 years.
3 years. Maybe 4. I want to say 3.5 years.
So you're about 3.5, 4 years total of cancer then? Like
Oh, yeah. When
you
I
had
started my
yeah.
cancer, I started in 2011, and I went from 2012 for almost 4 years of treatments.
Wow.
4, almost 5, but there was 6 months where I didn't do treatment, then a year and a half where I didn't do treatment.
Okay.
So there was those 2 breaks in between not finding anything to finding something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like all I was doing treatments.
Wow.
It's just...
Well, it's amazing that you kept a positive attitude. And even today, a lot of people would let it get them down and they'd, always be looking around the corner. But I had no idea until Laura and I were talking, and she's like, did you know John had cancer? And I was like, I had no idea. And then all of a sudden I find out you had 5.
Yes, I'm just not one to talk about and brag about, hey, I had cancer. Guess what?
Yeah.
Want to see my scars? Dude, it was a bump on the road. It's like having a cold. I had a cold, got rid of it, and now let's move on. There's a glass of wine out there. There's a beer we haven't tried, sitting by the fire pit.
Well, that explains why you have kegs of gin and tonic now.
Well, you can never run out or
Yeah.
have too many.
Uh-huh.
So,
And so now you're just living life. You have your carpet store, the family business.
yeah, worked the family business, worked there
Yeah.
for since first grade.
Wow.
Been there forever.
Well, you can promote it, the name of it and address. And
Oh, it's the
everything.
Carpet Barn. It's on 3663 South Main in South Salt Lake.
Okay. Yeah. It's just an amazing story, like you said, because, I've met a handful of people through the years that have gone through cancer, and you could see it in their eyes that they're afraid of everything now.
Oh, they're afraid of everything. They're afraid to do stuff. So, I can't do that. Can't be around cigarette smoke. I hate cigarette smoke anyway.
Yeah.
So I stay kind of away from it 'cause
Yeah.
I can't stand the smell of it. I mean, I used to do. People say, did you used to do cigars? And I would say, not really. I used to call it boys club. I'd have maybe one a year.
Yeah.
And it was just with the guys over some drinks.
Uh-huh.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And I'd order them from Thompson Cigar Company, and I'd have them in a box inside, and I'd more give them out than I ever.
Yeah.
It's just, it's kind of hang with the guys, and that's about it. So I really never smoked cigars, never smoked cigarettes, never smoked a pipe. It's just cancer just found me for whatever reason it wants. And there's no history of cancer in my family, with the exception of now, after I was going through, my father was diagnosed with it.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away from cancer just because they missed a spot on one of the x-rays. It was a spot on his lung.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time he started feeling it, it was too late. It was everywhere. Went into the bone, the whole 9 yards. And then since my cancer diagnosis, just this last August, my mother passed away from bladder cancer. And it's pretty bizarre that your chemo partner to your mother,
Exactly.
she's like, what do you she already knew kind of what I was going through because she went through a lot of treatments with me. But then she kind of forgot a lot about them. So I had to go back and tell her, this is what to expect. This is what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd say, can I eat? Can I not eat? Well, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
And that was always my first thing. This is what I would do. It's not necessarily what I would say you should do.
Mm-hmm.
What I did worked for me. Now, for you, ask your doc, make sure that it's on the up and up, that he has no problems with it. So, but yeah, bladder cancer went through everything for her and finally took her. So, but I've just been really lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say the cancer started with me and it spread in the family.
It's scary. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you don't know. And then my sister, Jennifer, who now lives in Madison, Wisconsin, she wanted to go see the doctor and have a genetic testing done. She wanted to find out if she had any cancers. Same thing that I had. If there's any, and the doctor says, no, I can do your testing, but don't. He says, this is going to tell you stuff and make you worried.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're going to have it or you're not. He says everybody's got certain genetic markers that are going to show that they have potential to certain cancers. You're just going to take those and magnify them and think, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And
Yeah.
no.
Exactly. I mean, is
You
there
don't.
anything you recommend for people to avoid or do, or diet-wise, or?
No, really, because you don't know. You'll have people, you got like somebody like George Burns,
Mm-hmm.
smoked cigars every day of his life till he was in his 90s. The only thing that killed him, from what I understand, is he slipped in the tub and broke his hip, and then there you go. From there, it was a downfall.
Yeah.
Some people can do that, and they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, smoking doesn't cause cancers. Other people get cancers for just no reason.
Yeah.
You look at little kids that are born, they're 5, 6 years old, infants, they come out with a severe cancer. Well, where'd they get that? Who's to say what causes this?
Yeah.
Whatever causes this is ridiculous and nasty.
No, exactly.
I mean, I can think of some people at the point of the mountain that might need to have it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Most of them are probably fairly good, but there's a few people up there. It wouldn't bother me a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It's, you just have no reason. I mean, you could tell people, don't eat this, don't eat that. Well, some people say soda pop causes cancer because it's heavy sugar. Oh, really? How do you know?
Yeah.
The only thing I avoided while I was doing treatments is I stayed away from sugar,
Mm-hmm.
just because when they said during my PET scans that cancer loves sugar, I just triggered right into that. Oh,
Yeah.
sugars are gone.
Yeah, don't feed it.
Dude, yeah, I'm not here to give it a 5-course meal.
Mhm.
I wanted to get all the flipping chemo it can and enjoy that.
Yeah.
So basically, I just stopped all sugars, with the exception of, gummy bears, a few lifesavers, a few things like that, just because you have to have something. You're not
Exactly.
eating. So, but other than that, no. And you could avoid sugars, I guess, if you want. Some people do, but you never know who's going to get cancer. I mean, like, weren't you telling me one of your good friends had cancer?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it can happen to anybody. It's scary. And I mean, the one thing is my aunt, she had breast cancer. She's had it twice, actually. And the first time the doctor told her that the only reason she survived it was from being in shape and working out. So, I mean, if there's any recommendation, be just stay, as healthy as you can.
Oh, yeah. Stay in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they always say it's harder to get in shape than to stay in shape.
Yeah.
And, hey, if that works, because healthy, because like I say, when you're going through that, there's no working out. You don't have energy for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, just a walk around the block could kill you.
Yeah.
A walk out in the front and a walk out in the back. It's just like, man, okay, I got no energy. This is just not cool. And you learn that even on days when you felt really good, don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how good you feel. You feel like I could do 20 loads of laundry. I could vacuum this house and wash everything I got, and man, you'll pay for it the next day.
Oh, I can imagine.
You'll be so sick.
Yeah.
You just learn, no matter how good I feel, just chill. Chill on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing you don't have is, a beverage in your hand while you're watching it, except for water.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, that's the good thing about Netflix. You can binge watch everything now.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then you find that when you're going through the treatments, like I was telling you, going through the treatments and you're learning that I can do the fasting. Well, fasting's all great. And when the doctor says liquid in and liquid out, but the other thing you have to remember is never trust a fart. Because I'm telling you right now, there's no packing material.
Oh, no.
No. Normally you think, okay, maybe a little, we're good. And oh, hell no.
Uh-huh.
That ain't happening. So you just learn like, oh, dude, this is so not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the thing, and Tracy, our neighbor across the street, she's always calling me up when she found out I was going through it the second time.
Uh-huh.
What can I do? Can I come over and do laundry? I says, no, Tracy, I'm really good. I don't have much laundry. I wear sweats.
Uh-huh.
That's about it.
Yeah, she's great. She actually called today to see how Lauren was doing.
Oh, did she?
I'm on the treadmill, and she calls up just to make sure,
Lauren in her back.
Yeah.
And I told Tracy, I says, I could have you come over and do it, but I says, I have to do some things for myself. If not, I'm going to flip and get bed sores just sitting here on the couch all day. So I learned that doing a few things was actually good for me, motivate me to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, it probably keeps you a little positive, too.
I have
to.
Like I say, it just pissed me off. It was in my way of having fun.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't have the positive attitude, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
That was me. You got to have the positive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that positive attitude, you might as well just have them build the pine box.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
You're done. You just, positive attitude this, and I'll have it when it comes back again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in the way. I got things to do.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I can and can't do, and it's hard to say I could practically teach the chemo class now.
Yeah.
But I knew what I want to do, what I don't want to do, what I can and what I can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a lot of people in the treatment room that are going through stuff that, wow, you can just tell that they've been through some juice. And it's like, oh, I feel so sorry for you.
Yeah.
But once you ring that bell, that's life. And the third time I rang that bell, I practically tore that thing off. They heard it everywhere because I was ringing that thing.
Uh-huh.
Dude, once you go through our chop, holy hell.
Yeah, man. That's tough. And, I mean, not to speak to any lesser of anybody's cancer, but I mean, it's like, it comes the same thing with life in general. No matter how hard you have it, there's always somebody that has it just a little bit harder.
Oh, yeah.
And,
You think your life sucks. There's always somebody that's like, really, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can wake up and breathe every morning, that's enough for you to take care of anything you need to.
Oh, exactly. No, yeah. You wake up, breathe, and move. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You always, do something.
Exactly.
But yeah. That's what I've always thought myself too. Going through my stuff, even going through, I'd have people always, feel sorry for me and say, "God, you've gone through so much chemo," and then I look at what they've gone through. I say, "Dude, mine's nothing. I haven't had all your surgeries and all your, with their cancers." And it's like, my God. Because we went after my last treatment, after my last R-CHOP treatment, I was invited to it's called Real Recovery, REEL Recovery. It's actually cancer retreat for cancer people, men that have had cancer.
Yeah.
You sign up for it. They take, I think it was 13 guys, and it fills up fairly quickly. They have it up at White's Ranch up here by Logan. And all it is 13 guys that go up there for 3 days, and you fish, and it's free. They teach you how to fly fish. And awesome part about it is you usually get a buddy that has cancer, or your fishing buddy that has actually taken some of their vacation just to come and show you how to fish. And every person gets a personal guide.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like one guide teaches 5 people. No, everybody gets a personal guide.
Mm-hmm.
And you go out each day, you'll go out half days, and each half day you go out, you get a new guide, because they always want you to chain, and they're asking you what your cancer was, really concerned about you, how you doing. And for those 3 days, they're your best buddy.
Yeah, it's a break from reality too.
Oh, totally break, because you knew some of the people that were up there, it's going to be the last time you ever saw them.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one guy up there, Kenneth, super nice guy, awesome. I mean, you could tell he knew what he was doing in fly fishing. So, and he was up there, and cancer killed him a couple of years ago. Just finally, You know, he seemed pretty good going through a lot of the stuff, and he had a great positive attitude, but unfortunately, he didn't die humanely, I say, you know. So that's why I sometimes think you ought to be able to have the choice whether you end it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because, you know, when you see what they're going through, and you're not going to live. You're done. I mean, the prognosis is just hospice and waiting.
And having your family wait on you and feeling like a burden. That's
and just
not...
have your family wait on you, watch you wither away, and you can't do anything about it. It's just like give you morphine and wait till you die.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, I agree.
Have assisted by the doctor. You know, when the prognosis is done, you're done, dude. You know when you've had it.
Yeah, exactly.
You should be able to die with dignity.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's a die well. You do something you love, and then go with
we're done.
Yeah.
You know, because when you see some of the people up there, and you knew their prognosis was not good, and how many of them made it, I don't know. But there's a few of them that I knew weren't gonna. And he felt sorry for him. But for that 3 days, there was no cancer. I mean, you talked about it, and everybody told their cancer stories. But for the most part, it was just 3 days of just chilling.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was lucky enough that my treatments are done so I could eat.
Yeah.
Some of them couldn't because it was amazing food.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he didn't pay for a thing. It was all paid for through the cancer recovery.
Isn't it amazing there's people out there that'll do that stuff, too?
It's totally amazing. And
Yeah.
I had asked the gentleman about if they had one of these for women, and they do. It's a real recovery for women that have had breast cancer. And that's the same thing. They take them out, and you have gals that go out there, and gal fishermen. And I don't know if they have guys that teach the gal to fish, but they could. But it's just taking them out for 3 days. And
Yeah.
they take them to a river, and they give you your vest. They give you everything. You don't bring anything.
That's nice. That's amazing.
And when you put on your fly fishing vest, every fly fishing vest is all signed by everybody. As soon as you put the vest on, you sign it.
That's really cool.
And the guys were saying, and that's the first thing they tell you, is a lot of the people that are on this vest aren't with us anymore.
Yeah.
But they were at one time, and we changed their lives for that 3 days. And
Exactly.
So mine, I just signed it just a bump in the road.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking about this.
No, I don't mind talking about the cancers. I mean, you know, I've had people ask me, how can you know, questions about it. What are they going to go through? And I said, well, mine was always prefaced, this is what I went through.
Yeah.
Not guaranteeing what you're going to go through, but what I went through. This is how I handled it. But he says, if you don't have a positive attitude, you're done.
Exactly.
Have a positive attitude, and it'll work out.
Well, it shows through for you. I mean, barbecue season's here, and it'll be time to have fun.
There's going to be some grilling and chilling.
Yeah.
Grilling, chilling, and fire pitting, and hanging at the pergola.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, good. Thank you again. Do you want people to reach out to you, or would you rather keep it to yourself?
Oh, they can reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. You can find me. That's it. It's only, I mean, not one of these social media, Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't do that.
So what's your name on Facebook?
John Macqueen.
John Macqueen. Okay, I'll put that in the titles or in the credits as well. And
yeah, if they have any comments, I'm more than happy to chat with them about what I went through. And like I say, I was up at Huntsman and the Utah Cancer Center's been to a couple different places. But yeah, chat with them all they want.
Great. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you guys for listening. And, you know, find your gold. Thank you.
I hope you think about me. Oh, I know it's all over now. I hope you think about me. I hope you think about me. And it go like this. I know it's all over now. Yeah, girl, I guess you moved on. You moved on. Yeah, you moved on. You could say that in a sense you put your shoes on. But I hope you're doing fine though. Keep you in my mind though. I know me and your mama ain't seeing eye to eye though. But much love to her. I hope your family's well. I hope they know that everything I felt for you was real. And I wasn't kidding. And through your eyes you never saw no competition. But I was wrong for misjudging. I've learned along the way so I could speak on who I was then. And I see you found the right one. I hope he treats you like I would've liked to. I know you're doing good these days. I pray I get this off my chest so these feelings can fade. I'm saying, I know it's all over now, but if you think about me, don't think about me, no. I know it's all over now, but if you think about me, don't think about me. See, I had broken many hearts in my past time, and I done took a couple L's in my last life. And love wasn't meant for me and my last girl. I let the past be the past, that's the past world. But I'm on to bigger and better things now. Like if I grab the mic, I'm going off, I'ma rock the whole crowd. I pray that y'all is really feeling me and know that I'm strong, because these demons ain't killing me, and they ain't killing me because they ain't feeling me. I speak what's in my heart and I say the things that's real to me. I'm dream chasing and I hope that y'all rock with me. I'm headed to the top of Salt Lake City, come with me. I know it's all over now, but if you think about me, don't think about me, no. I know my show is over now, and if you think about me, I hope y'all think about me, no. I know my show is over now, I hope y'all think about me, I hope y'all think about me, yeah. Like I said, it's dedicated to all my dream chasers. It's for anybody that ever had a dream. Yo, stick with me, we're going to the top. Hey, shout out my boy T Thorn, shout out T Wet, shout out Humble.